across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. As you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Today, we are here in New York.
Once it is involved, they come from so many angles. Like you don't have to know the person that's a star. Don't have to really be involved. Could be involved. Yeah, it's a possibility. However, don't really have to, because this is a broad thing. It's tainted. It's no integrity in the NBA right now. It's just, and it's really hard to get this back. You probably can never get this back, because the thing now in sports is not about the sport. It's about the bet. It's about money in all sports. So the integrity of the actual sport, not the player, the integrity of the sport is what's being attacked here. Forget the players involved with it, because it's coming down from a hierarchy. So forget the players that's involved. So it's the integrity of the sport, the way, and I mean about the way the average person see the sport. And we talking about people that's gambling, people that's betting their money. You know, people that was on the good side of this thing here, they was betting their money, you know, getting their money, this and that. However, the other people that's just betting theirs from the integrity of the sport and the results of what they see players and what they think, you know, like fantasy football or, you know, things in that nature, or any kind of parlay bets that they got going on. And it's funny because I don't gamble. I really don't gamble. And this is not one of the reasons why I don't gamble. I don't gamble because I just don't gamble. But and then when they came up with the you know, online sport betting and all this stuff, and I knew it, because anything that come online, okay, let me put it like this so people could understand. Like a chef, you know, like a chef in the hierarchy chef in a big top 5-star, you know, restaurant. Say he get a fish, you know, chefs get a whole real fish, and they really eat the whole fish. They use the whole entire fish for different things. If it's for some sauce, this is for the fillet. This is this piece. This is the fin. This is the mouth. This is the eyes. You know, it's for all this stuff is going to be made for something. This whole entire fish is going to be used. This is how the internet is. This is how the internet is when it comes to enterprises, like big entities like the NBA and, you know, fantasy football and baseball. These is big playgrounds for gamblers. These is heavens. These is havens. It's like a drug addict for addict. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get to the difference of a gambling addiction and hustling. It's a big difference, and people get that kind of wrong. So, you know, it's like so now you got these online bets, and it's just easy now. So now I could have a cousin on the team. Like, one of these guys could be my cousin, and we just generally randomly talking, like, just, you know, and he might just tell me, like, yo, you know, somebody like, you know, Steve Francis ain't playing, or LeBron ain't playing this game, or, you know, AI ain't playing this game. But we just generally talking. It's not nothing like that. But this is how easy this thing can be. So now, and I may take that information. I may not be no gambler, but I might tell my man and be like, yo, nah, my cousin told me that, you know, AI ain't playing tonight. You know what I mean? Boom, 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 boom. And I don't really know what that means, because I don't gamble. But he a gambler. He do all the parlays, and he do all that. So he like, yo, he go and throw the money on there. And this is how, when later on, when things crack open, and I tell people all the time, like I tell them all the time, you don't know when you're under investigation. If you knew, it won't be an investigation. It just won't. So the thing is, when they come at you under investigation and they got these things, you already done them. It's like you getting filmed without even knowing. You know, sometimes you act the best that way. Sometimes you act when you see a camera on you. You start to act and look at the camera today. Look at these people that get on the camera. They start real, but that camera rays get to their face and they just start talking crazy. And they just start going left. Seriously, people lose their careers over these phones and these cameras and these mics today. Whole careers, whole social accounts, million of followers on this damn camera. Bugging out. However, when it comes down to what this is how simple this can be. And I'm not saying it's not that simple. I'm not saying that it's major players in here, but they can be major players in here. I'm just letting you know things like this can happen on a level way down here. So this is nothing real serious. It's not that you could put your finger on Chauncey Billups, on Rose. You can't put your finger on none of this stuff here. You know what I mean? Because it's like information. And I told people 30 years ago, information is the most valuable commodity in this world. And the information and the best commodity in this world is black people. And the next best is information. That's a fact. Those are only two things that they fuck with in this world that move this money around. Black people and information. Seriously, that's why. But they ain't talking about a black person on the internet doing something, or these kind of big buses and all the black faces is up here and all that, because blacks sell a lot. You know what I mean? Data breaches. I'm trying to say, these are two most important. They could kidnap us and man, you crazy. We be out of here. You sick. They be snatching us up all day long. That's why they kill us, because they can't kidnap us and put us out. They can't stop us. They got to kill us. That's the only way. And they do shit like this. You know what I mean? So this can be real simple to me. I'm not saying none of these guys ain't no players. They players, and this is where I'm coming from. You know, so, and let me tell you something about what these guys is. There was another guy. There's a couple of guys in the NBA, but there's another guy though. You remember this guy here? You remember this guy? Remember this guy right here? Huh? The ref? You remember him? Tim? Well, you know, I ain't good with names, man. Donahue, yeah, Tim Donahue, something like that. But you know, you remember him? Yes, sir. I remember him. Yeah, the ref. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's people back in the days. You know what I mean? These people been doing this, man. But see, it was no internet online. That's the key. That's the key. That's the golden key. That's the difference between this time and this time. See, it's a difference, because the ref was, you know, you could throw games inside, you know, doing a little, you know, giving up information about who, you know, this and that. That's what this guy was doing. That's what Tim was doing. Tim was a little solo operation. You know, he was a little operation. Him and his man, what was it, Matias? That was the dude, Matias. And then it was his friend. Yeah, this is how this thing goes. I'm not getting into all that, but I'm just saying this is nothing new under the sun. So people be running around with this like this. It's like, oh, they bust the NBA. No, they the players and all that. But forget the players. Forget the players. You know what I mean? They all played together. They all played together. Braun and them others. See, we ain't got to go to that because people know that, man. We all know that. We all know that all these cats is together. But the point is, if one bad apple is in a bunch, so you can't, there's no technology out here yet. There's no technology out here yet. Well, they coming with it. They said they got samples of it right now. But there's no real technology out here to tell me what's on this man's mind right now, what's on his mind. You know, he got to tell you that kind of thing. You can see by his actions what's on his mind. However, when it comes to things like this, is that these people decided they want to spread some information and get some personal dollars in their pocket for whatever it is. And they was accused of this. You know what I mean? These people was accused of this stuff. You know, some of them was charged and some of them was accused. But the point is that this is like a data breach. This is nothing that you can physically point and say such and such. Now, what you can do is like what Rozier did. You can do is that if you know, walk like a duck, you know, quack like a duck, you're a duck. So if you sit here and bet money on the game and say you're going to get out the game early, so you go under the parlay, and you actually do it, you did it in front of the world. It's on TV, and not knowing, you're under investigation. So this is documented now. So all this is being followed and played up. You get what I'm saying? This is how this thing go. And people be acting like this is how this thing go. This is how these people get trapped up. And that's why they say some of them can do it knowingly and some of them can do it not knowingly. Because that's a fact. You can really be caught up in this and not knowing what's going on because somebody can be telling all your information like you actually giving it out. You get what I'm saying? So that's why these police and these feds, they do all this. They got all the black faces up here and all this stuff here. They talk about the mob, they talk about the Italian mob, and they ain't throwing any pictures up there, none of that stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Because that's just propaganda. This is the money. This is where it's at. You get what I'm saying? Nobody care about that. The mob is involved. Nobody cares about that because nobody gonna do nothing to them. This is where the money at. That's why these names is getting popped up. This is the only reason these names get. Now, I ain't blaming none of these players. I ain't gonna hold you now. I gotta put some fault on Rozier because you indefinitely did something. They say Billups was, but I can't see. I'm still trying to put the correlation between the FBI and the players on a charge. Like, did they do anything to thwart the state, thwart the federal government? So they had dice games, they had card games. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. But how you know all this money was made and stuff like that if you didn't have no infiltrators in there? Unless if you did have infiltrators in there, I don't see the crime. It's like you go in there and bust them. That's nothing different than the after hour spot. You get what I'm saying? There's no electronic payments going through. Nobody defrauding the bank, and this is just a regular after hour spot. These motherfuckers just got some money. You know what I mean? They could do it like this. Now with the trays and the tables with the infrared, if all this is true, if it is true, because this is America and it's propaganda, if all this is true, if they got cards, scan cards, and this and that, and I don't understand about all the technology you're trying to put up there, saying, because it don't make sense if you sit back and listen. If you got an X-ray table, what the hell you need contacts in your eyes to see the cards for? What the X-ray table is for? To see through the joint, right? So if you got contacts in your eyes, what do you need any of that other technology for? If you got contacts in your eyes that can see the cards, like what else you need? What you need X-ray tables? See, I think that'd be propaganda because it overlaps. It's just like overdoing it. Like if I was walking someplace and it was a casino with glass tables and this and that and all this, no casinos like that. Casinos really got wooden tables. You know what I mean? I ain't really see casinos in places with glass tables, and you can't see. There must be some high sensor, high barcode sensor, whatever. You don't see no wires, no lights is bleeping off and on. How's all this shit going on? And where y'all getting these devices from that's so high profile that nobody else got? Because y'all can't be the only ones. You got mobs in Russia, you got mobs over here else. They all in the billions of dollars with these casinos. So why ain't none of this is? I know the smart tables in a restaurant. You know, you play poker on them and you play chess and order food and all that. I mean, I get it. But y'all talking some real Silicon Valley shit, man. Y'all really out there with this one, man, for real. And y'all got these people making it seem like these is the technicians and this. So these people play basketball. These people, computer people. Ain't you that computer shit? You have to tell them. You have to tell them what to do now. I'm not saying that they're not involved. They could be involved as pupils, but here you go with Kenny Jet Smith said and Charles Barkley, right? Kenny said it's an addiction. Totally disagree. This is not an addiction. Not what's going on here. I'm not what's going on here. I'm gonna tell you what addiction is. You get what I'm saying? So you can just clearly see the difference. If any of these people was addicted to gambling, they would all be broke. They have too much money to live with an addiction. Trust me with this one. Believe me. And especially one of the 7 sins is gambling. Drugs and all that other addiction, alcohol and all that shit it's a rehab for all of you. But those are not as hard as a gambling rehab. This is why you can gamble online, you can gamble from your phone. You have to really stop this. So none of them have a gambling habit. Trust me. These people is greedy. They just greedy for money, or some of them might be in a certain position and had to go this kind of route. Because these are not gamblers. If they was a real gambler with all this money, they'd have been spent the money. This would have been happening a long time ago. Rozier would have been broke before he did that. You gotta understand, he would have went broke if he was a real gambler. So this is not a gambling addiction. The gambling, the ones with the gambling addiction is the one that came in there and lost that 1.8 million. That's the motherfucker with the gambling addiction. All the money that they said that they beat them, and whether if they did it through technology and beat them and snake them out of it, it doesn't matter. The other ones is the ones with the addiction. These guys is hustling. They making money. It's not an addiction because they know they're not gonna lose. This is a catch-22. It's not a fucking addiction. This is a catch-22 clear. Each one of them going up there ain't got a thought about losing because they the culprit. They the corporates of it. They know what's a setup. If it's from what they talking about. And this is why they got these guys up here as like they the corporate, knowing they got all this technology stuff in here. You don't hear them putting them to none of that. You don't hear them connecting to none of the technology, none of that stuff. You don't hear them telling them, yo, we know he knows somebody in Silicon Valley. And these is not the corporates. They didn't put this together. It's just totally impossible. And that's clear as day. If people be sitting here looking at this, I'm like, yo, this shit is clear as day. Y'all can't see this. This is what you call propaganda at its best. At its best. Listen to this propaganda. Listen to this. Just listen.
Historic arrest across a wide sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. As you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI.
Now, listen to this. It's funny. You know what I mean? It's really funny how people namesake. Like, they do it in the street. They do it everywhere, man. You know what I mean? You can't stop with this stuff, man. You know what I mean? You see, he said La Costa Nostra. You know why he said that? Because if you talk about the mob and this and that, somebody never even heard of the mob. Take certain names and to get your attention. You know, the Costa Nostra. You know, the casual person who ever heard about the mob definitely said the Costa Nostra. You know what I mean? So you don't show none of them. You don't do that. You said it's all about the NBA, but you keep throwing the mob name in it like this. So basically, you're saying that the NBA is tied. The top of the people is tied. It can't be the players. It just can't be them. So either somebody know and ain't say nothing, somebody didn't know and act like they didn't know, or act like they knew, but it's too broad of a spectrum of what's going on once you tap into it. So you really didn't know nothing 2 weeks ago, but once you tap into it, it's too broad to be like nobody knew nothing. It's too broad. It's been going on too long. You know what I mean? And there's prior incidents of this type of thing in just basketball, in all sports, but you know, in basketball, we talk about basketball, it's happening. So when it come and they start mentioning these names of these certain players and La Costa Nostra and all that type of stuff there, you know, you got to start looking at it. And I'm not saying that none of these people is at fault or not at fault, you know what I mean? But what I am saying is that you got to take it with a grain of salt. You just got to. You got to take this with a grain of salt, man, because I want to see what's the real play, because this can go any way. Like, this can be any, this is like, it's like a needle in a haystack. You can't pinpoint no commander-in-chief. You can't do none of that. But what you can do is you can go and try to find the manufacturers of these machines, these tables and all these eyewear contact lenses, and you know, this special tech, high tech, razor sharp, you know, looking at the cards with special cards, and it's a lot of tech going on for y'all can't be able to go find the tech, man. It's too much tech. It's too much. It's too much tech. If it was one piece, then fine. You might got it off the black market, but this is a thing. This is where these things is where they getting shipped to. You know, because they're not being made in America. We know that for sure. Whatever tables are going on, and none of that is made in America. And if the feds was investigating them like they say they was investigating them, they would know this stuff. They would see the shipments. They would know. They said they was chasing money for however long. It's the federal government. Yeah, and if they on this type of stuff, so you telling me that the Fed seen something that they ain't never seen. Tables and for gambling and this and that. So you telling me that in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, they took it as this is just one thing. So you telling me that there's nobody else with more money and a more of a gambling structure than the NBA betting on parlays and all that? And you tell me this is the only place that was able to figure this out and say, you know what, we found some tech people that could do some stuff for us in gambling. So no other casino, no other people that's nobody knows about this. This is just brand new. Now, if it was brand new, then we can get down to the nitty gritty. If it's brand new, we can really trace it because nobody's scared. Nobody is acting like they hot. You know what I mean? Because it's brand new. You know, people walking around like the same way these people walking around not knowing they're under investigation is the same way the people that manufacturing these tables. If these they first tables, you they first business person, whoever it was that bought these so-called tables and cards and contact lenses and I don't know. I mean, maybe you got it from one place because typically if somebody manufacturing fake card tables, they manufacturing a lot of other stuff that's fake, dealing with the casino and dealing with gambling. That's just obvious to a dog. There's no take rocket science to figure that out. So if the feds was investigating them, they should know this stuff. They should have noticed stuff. They should know the companies that made these machines, that made these tables. They should know all the phone calls, what are you up here asking questions for and you was under investigation? That's what's losing me. What is the in questions for? Because y'all come fast. Y'all know y'all come. Y'all be able to take them to jail. So what is all the interrogation? Why are you not coming up with all of this stuff? So you saying you just, that's why I'm thinking that, typically they using the black people again in all kind of ways. This is another way they use black people. They don't just aggravate them and bother them. They use them for bait, for money. This is money. This is real money. We be like bait. They throw a black face up there, throw the NBA, but only black faces. Now, if you're going on the NBA looking on a good side of things, you'll see Luka Doncic up there. Luka. You see all these people up there. All you see some more lightning faces. It won't be no black people. You know what I mean? If you're talking about something good, it'd be a bunch of, good faces up there. So you got the black faces up there. This is just the way I see things, man. You know what I mean? So with them up there, so now all the black people thinking that all the black people in the NBA is, hey, you only threw black people up there. You don't do LeBron. So nobody bet on Luka. Nobody bet on Joker. Nobody bet on Shea. No, nobody bet on none of these people. They ain't. You know what I mean? This is funny. So I be wondering, like, now they say it's this many people, that many people. It can actually be the whole NBA, and none of them gotta know, because it's like a whistleblower. Nobody knows. If this could be anybody, it could be literally anybody, and it could be a lot of people too. It could be players, it could be commissioners, it could be coaches, it could be trainers, it could be doctors, medical staff, it could be the little water boy, it could be the boy with the little basketball. If he's cool like that and you start getting information, it could be anybody. Anybody. I tell you one thing, people that is not the mafia. The mafia is just doing what the mafia do. They go into any hole and try to and dig a hole in it. So it's not the mafia. They're not telling you to, this and that. And the ones that's doing that, because you got this so broad, you got ones that's telling you to, such, so we can win this bet. But when it comes to like gambling, that's not gambling. Do you understand? That's not gambling. So I don't understand when the feds say this is a gambling sting. So why you got him for throwing a game? That's throwing a game is not gambling. You can put it together. It might be for a bet or for somebody to win or whatever it is, but it's not gambling. Gambling is when you do something and you don't know the outcome. That's what you call a gamble. If you know the outcome, it's called a hustle. It's completely simple. Seriously, if somebody's hustling you, you know what I mean? Then you'll know the outcome, or you don't know the outcome, or whatever the case is. You be trying to figure it out because he's hustling you. But if somebody's gambling, if you gambling, you both don't know the outcome. You just don't. Gambling is like getting into a fight in the street, just a random fight. You wasn't meaning to fight, but somebody jumped on you, punched you in your face, and now you fighting for your life because you don't know what's going on. That's what you call a gamble. Now a hustle is like, yo, I'm going to here, I'm gonna see a superstar, I'm gonna see Floyd Mayweather or you know Anthony Edwards, anybody that's on TV, and I'm run up on them and beef with them so they can punch me in the face. See, that's a hustle. See, I'm hustling right now. I'm making some shit up. You know what I mean? This is what they doing. They mixing up the gambling and the hustling because uh, uh Chauncey should not be. Well, I don't know his actual charges, but I know one of the charges should not be uh gambling. See, certain of these people have criminal charges because when you actually do something physically and intentionally, that's different. That's different. Now, hustling somebody, yo, look, man, Braun ain't gonna be in the game. You know what I mean? Go bet 10,000 over there on Braun. You know what I mean? Because he ain't gonna be in the game today. Nobody know that but me and you. And so you gonna make that bet. Now we gotta figure it out because that's a thin line. Because you making a bet on some information, but you actually know what you're doing. So the feds that have to figure out what crime is that. Is that can't be gambling because at the gambling table he didn't do nothing wrong. He went and did what everybody else did. He put up 5,000, 50,000, whatever it is, just like a regular bet. So there's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong is that he got information that nobody else got. But I can't see how I can put that into law. Like one is just a action, one is a crime, one is a real crime. Like your intentions is more of the crime. So if Chauncey Billups told somebody that somebody was going to be hurt or somebody was going to be out the game, we got to figure out that's an NBA problem. That's not a Fed thing. I don't know where the feds come in at with this unless they said it was a bunch of money, tens and tens of millions. But if the money is not computed, if it's not in a database and it's not structured like a whole structure, this is just like a raid in your house. Somebody say you gambling in your house and they come kick your door down because you're gambling, I guess, with without consent because I don't when you get down to the nitty gritty of it and you make sense of it, to me, my sense is that if I throw a poker party in my house, we in there, we playing. It's just a brand new poker party. You know, we all got a couple of dollars, but we playing a little bullshit poker party, and then all of a sudden, we in a party, we end up losing, 30, 40,000. Okay, I can understand the monetary value when the feds come in saying all this money is passed around, nobody paying taxes on it. I get that part, and that's what should be doing now. I don't see nothing else. I don't see nothing else now. What's different is if I was in my house selling cigarettes, like that I bought, and I'm in my house selling cigarettes. See, this is different because there's a repercussions to cigarettes. There's no repercussions to gambling except personal repercussions. There's no medical repercussions. There's no like you can die gambling. You can die gambling with the wrong people, but that's another thing. That's not gambling. That's you done something in gambling and you turned it into something else. That's what that is. But just gambling, you know, I mean, I gotta. I just don't think that. I think that this is more of an NBA problem than a federal problem. Feds might come in here and tamper in this because you got the low Sinatra. You'll keep them in there so it makes it seem like y'all should be here. But I don't think y'all should be here. I think there should be the NBA investigating this because this is an NBA thing. This is really an NBA thing. It doesn't matter about the game. This is an NBA thing. You know what I mean? Like a good example. Let's talk about the Bloods and the Crips in the street. Let's talk about the gangs, in the street. So, if somebody in your gang do something, and the law enforcement know that it was done by this gang, you know what I mean? It was done by this gang, whatever. It was done by gang number one, you know what I mean? So the police know that people in gang number one committed this crime. Okay, fine. They go and at that time they say let's submerge an investigation. And everybody like that. So they submerged an investigation. They got an investigation going on. And now this gang is about crime. So you're doing this crime, you'll go over here and do this crime, you know what I mean? You're going over here doing this. Now, what you're doing is you're actually burglarizing houses. That's what you're doing. You're burglarizing houses. That's the crime that they got you on, burglary. Or burglary. I got nothing. Nobody was ever home. And they turned into no home invasion and kidnapping. It was just burglary. Come in. You ain't breaking nothing. You lifting the window up, taking the alarm off, going to get the stuff, coming back out. Okay, they get y'all. They knock y'all. Now, when they come get y'all and they in there talking about, you got burglary, kidnapping, breaking and entry, home invasion. See, this is different talks. It's it's just funny with the law. You know what I mean? You got to really say this thing right, because you just threw a bunch of stuff up there, and it's a lot going on. I mean, you really look at this. There's a lot going on. You know what I mean? From all the cheats and all the stuff, from all the cheats in the game, it's just a lot going on when they be calling all these charges. And I'm like, how is you getting to all these charges when they just gave up information about something? That's an NBA problem. They should be banned by the NBA, and the NBA should be, I guess, suing them for the accumulation of the money that they made, that they can find out how much about information or whatever the case is. And they should give that back to the people that bet, to be honest with you, or give it to some kind of escrow fund, or give it, I don't know. But I think it should be more of an NBA thing. The feds can come in there and maybe, can touch on a couple of things because it's touching their ground level. But after somebody just giving up information, that's an NBA thing. I don't see where the law enforcement is coming in at with that. I just don't see it. I don't care if he told him to get out of on 9 points and get hurt and don't come back again. That's an NBA thing. Where's the feds at in that? That's an NBA thing to me. So it's just kind of funny, man. So I'm gonna take it by a grain of salt and listen to the rest of it, man. But I know they're gonna use discolored people throughout this whole story, because as long as discolored people was up there, it's believable. See, when you got other shades, you know what I mean, you tended to converse a little better. It don't know. It looked like it's more of a simple reasoning for it. And what he did is no different than what they did. It's no different than what they did. It's just no difference. You don't know far to the extent of what he was giving up and what he was telling. He was in there when there was some real good stars in there and there wasn't no internet. And so you could really get off. Barkley, Jordan, Keem, everybody. And then he got the more power to officiate the way he wanted to officiate it. And that come to matter, because I always used to wonder, because I don't gamble, so I used to always wonder where they get the spreads from, especially when they opened it up. Like before, it was just, you gamble on the game. It wasn't no, if this one, it wasn't no parlays, it wasn't 12 people, you can bet on each one, you can bet on jump shots, 3-pointers, how long they'll be in the game. Like you can just, it's just really confusing. However, it's the same thing though. It's just that at one time, it wasn't as much communication than it is today. So we don't know what's going on back then, if that information is still up to date, if that train line, if that little tunnel line they had going on, if he's still doing it, if he still know another ref in there that's super cool with him, and like it. So I'm not putting this all on Chauncey and them. They did not start this. They might have participated, but they didn't start it though. They didn't start it. They don't even look like somebody that can orchestrate this type of thing, because all throughout their profession, they was in different scenarios. They wasn't like balanced, like in a high office, and was able to pull this off without nobody knowing. I'm talking about no other player, nobody at all. It is what it is. So when the feds come down, the feds got this thing now, y'all. I don't know, for the past 10 years, 15 years, the feds just got a thing with black people. I don't know. They got a thing with groups of black people now. They taking us down for everything in every industry across, from the music to the sports to the movies to the comedians to the entrepreneurs to the CEOs in regular business to regular workers in regular business. It's a black thing. It's a thing right now. It's a real black thing. For the past 15 years, 20 years, everything been blamed on black people. Everything been blamed on black people. I don't care what nobody say. They can sit there and say the race is not bad. You can say what you want to say because you're not black. But I'm black, and I'm telling you, everything is blamed on black people. Somebody turn the news on, and when it's blamed on white people, it come up here for a minute, and then it disappear. Like, all right, give an example. Remember back in the days with the movies, we used to have the black blockbuster movies that come out. Remember how short they used to put them when we used to actually go to the movies. This used to be a thing. We used to go to the movies. This is not now. They got all the streaming and everything like that. So it's not as prevalent as it was before. But before, we used to go to the movies and literally wait on a line for our favorite movie that's coming out. And every time a black movie came out, you know, let's say for instance, let's just give it a run. Let's just say if you see a good black. All right, let's just go Tyler Perry. Not even want to make an example of this guy, but say Harlem Nights, right? Say Harlem Nights, all black, movie, basically, all black. It was based upon our culture, and we can't do nothing without the other culture of people because that's part of our culture. That's just the way it is. However, that movie there was a really good movie, blockbuster movie. Everybody would went to the movies for 2-3 months watching this movie. So, but I don't know if people used to peep this, but they used to say Harlem Nights come out, blow up in the office, and then all of a sudden, another week or two, probably 3 weeks max, if that, they pull it out the movies and put it in Blockbuster or put it on video. And I know some people be happy about that because they don't want to go to the movies, but this is really a different thing. This is really a real statement where we're not even going to let you try to outdo these other movies. Like, we know if we keep this movie here for a month or two, it will be a block. It'll sell more than anything because they're going to keep coming. People love black people. They know that, so they'll take it off. Now, if it was a movie like Top Gun, you know what I mean, or one of those movies, they were having that shit up there. It'd be in the movies for like 4 months. You'll go to the movies 5 months later. I mean, not in every movie, but you will find it like in New York. You'll be going down the movie like on 77 and what's that, 7th Avenue or First Avenue. They used to have a little movie theater right there, like right in the middle of the buildings. There's a little movie theater on 70 something street, and like first, second, one of those avenues on the east side. Somebody know what I'm talking about. It was to be a movie theater right there. I swear to God, it used to be a white movie theater right there. It's white. It's to be behind a white building. It used to be right there. It's right like in the middle of the block, and you'll find like Top Gun down there. Like 5 months later, 6 months later, you're like, yo, this nigga still out in movies. Like for real, for real. It won't be really no people going there, but it'll be open. But when it comes to black directors or black movies, nah. You see what they did to Wakanda? If you go look at Wakanda, see how fast that came off the shelf. Because it did way too good, too fast. They snatched that book. Let me get that. No. You're not going to sit up here and sell $2 billion and there ain't going to be no other movie that can ever catch you, y'all, because black is just dominant. So when it comes to this, it's dominant in all aspects. On the good side, on the bad side. That's one thing about black people. You can use us even when you degrading us. You don't have to be like applauding us to get the money out of us. You can actually degrade us to get way more than you get for applauding us. Seriously, like this FBI director guy. This guy, look at this guy. He's everywhere. He in Philly. He over here. This guy love. I ain't seen him. I haven't seen this much. I'm telling you, man. Just watch what I'm saying, and let me know. Let me know today. And I don't know if they're gonna post it, but let me know they giving us all this off the country stuff, and everybody fighting and bombing and all that stuff. Let me see something in here. I want you to run inside one of these crystal meth labs and bring out, go down to somewhere where they doing all this stuff at. And let me see you grab a bunch of these You know, a bunch of these white boys who, got the meth, they making it and all that stuff. They go grab those dudes. Let's see on TV. You got a ring up, but they want you to believe that there's no rings like that. It's nothing. Anytime it's a bunch of, white people together, it's a group. It's a movement. It's a good movement, not a bad movement. It's only a bad movement when you see a bunch of black people together. It's bad. You could be singing "Kumbaya," they're gonna make it bad. They ganging up. They doing this. It's just the way it is. Anything they can do to submerge black people, I will guarantee you they would do it without a shadow of a doubt. And that's just the first culture. Mexicans come behind them. We're talking about the bad ones. We're not talking about everybody. You're gonna know everybody got. You got good and bad black people. You do. I'm black. I can tell you that. Yeah, but you got some real shitty ones too. Like you got some real shitty ones in all upper races, and this is a fact. But the thing about it is that the shitty black people is not racist. Discriminative when you come at them, but they're not openly racist. But you got the shitty Mexicans, the shitty Chinese, the shitty Europeans, the shitty whites, the shitty Afghanistans, the shitty Indians. All of them is against blacks. They will all group up together before they will group up with black people, but they will call upon us if another group of one of them get on out. Like if the white people decide to get off the black necks and get on the Mexican necks, the Mexicans will start looking at the blacks like, why you ain't help us? So y'all be black now. Oh, y'all got some of our blood now, but on a regular Tuesday, that's not what's going down. I'm from the city, y'all, so all this shit lives around me. They got all these areas they live around me. Trust me, they will take your money. Don't get it wrong, man. This is the reason why all these people have stores in the black area, in the black neighborhood. This is why. Ask them how much money they get. Ask them why you put your stores right here when you don't like people and there's so much crime, but you willing to sit here and sell cigarettes and juice and little sandwiches and chips and all in the middle of all of this. Why you won't do it downtown where it's safe and it's cool? Because white people won't buy none of this. You know that. I know that. Your own people won't even buy what's in your store. I'm saying, listen, we grew up around this. This is not racist. We grew up around this. Chinese people don't eat the shit they sell us. We grew up around. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. I'll tell you a group of people that eat what they sell us. Africans. They sell us some curry goat or what is it, chicken Dublin or something like that. But it's good. But they eat that though. But the Chinese people don't eat what they sell us. A lot of other races do, but yeah, some people don't. No, we could definitely. Now we talking about food. Now, we can talk about clothes too. When the last time you seen a Chinese person inside the store that sell Jordans and sell us all our sneakers that we grew up with the stuff on? You've never seen it. And if you see it, it was a young dude, probably a young one trying to be, another way they get money off us is they try to snatch our culture with our clothes and all that. And yeah, it's another way. It's just all different ways that they that they use us for money. It could be, degrading or lifting us up. They still want money. They still doing it for money. You know what I mean? And the back end, it's all about this money, man. And I want to see how they ride this out. Because they're going to ride this one out. They're going to really ride this out like these are the masterminds. And, you know what? I'm not even gonna judge them on their actions because it's just so broad. So I gotta really hear it. I really don't want to judge them. I mean, when I first heard it, I said they stupid. That was dumb, which it is dumb. But I don't know when it comes down like the federal government say the Costa Nostra, and all this stuff. If you don't pay, they come in and they. You see, all this stuff is making it seem like it's a one thing. Like they all so basically, what you telling me is that these guys is in the mob, and there's some other people in the NBA that's actually in the mob. They have to be because you said that Chauncey was a face of it. So that means that you was either a face of. I mean, I don't get it. You was either the face, so you had to be down. I mean, more than affiliated, because we talking about cut some money. That's more than affiliation. That's like I'm one of the, maybe not the partners, but I'm on the payroll because this is a scam. Anybody that get cut from the inside of the scam is damn near a partner. Not, I ain't talking about the police officer you paid off. They don't know nothing about nothing, but they only know to let me through the door when I give you this money and you gonna let me through the door. You don't know what I'm doing and what's going on because you're not part of the actual scam. So it have to be more of a thing with Billups and these people because you got them acting like they down with it. And I just can't put that together like that. Not the wording that's going on now. I know you're gonna come in here and you're gonna say a bunch of stuff about, this and this and that and this and that. I'm not talking about is they stupid or dumb. I'm not getting to that yet. I need more information to judge them because I can't see the affiliation with a coach of the NBA and a player, and an assistant coach player that used to be, Damon Jones. All that stuff, I can't put that. But I know some people with the mob that's, into other things, and how you used to hear everything that they into other things, and they not that close like this. So y'all got them together. So I want to see they co-defendants because you said you got them right. Where they in Italy or they back here? Like what's going on? Why we ain't getting no information on that? We ain't getting no pictures of them. Y'all had them under investigation. You know all the pictures. When they did it to John Gotti, we seen them pictures outside the coffee shop, outside the little restaurant. We seen all those pictures. We could go to Donnie Brasco, which was a movie, but we seen the pictures though. The people, that's what the feds do. The feds love cameras. The feds been dealing with cameras since the beginning of time. They never gonna let them go. Never. Police, the regular police may get the video and do all this. Feds is taking pictures, still pictures. That's the federal thing. That's what they do. They like that. They will show you a whole bunch of pictures. They don't care about that video shit. They got pictures of you. I'm right here looking at you. Knowing you're gonna come down this block, you're going into this door. Yes, that's you, right? You look right at the camera. Don't even know it's a camera, but that's you. That's how the feds move. So I want to see the pictures. Where the pictures at with the meetings? They say they got meetings with them and all this. Why y'all come out and do the whole bus? Put it all over the internet, all over the world. Your case is closed when you come, federal agents. Everybody in the world know that. So you can just put it on the floor right now and say what's up. You trying to drag it along because it's a black thing, man. I understand about the actions of it inside, but if this was soccer, no, if this was like tennis, and they had all across the countries and all that stuff, they don't play with those sports. They be down and dirty with those sports. They be on the PEDs, they be on this because those are international sports. Basketball is trying to go international. They trying to be international. They'll never get there like this. And I think that this is deeper than. I don't think they stumbled over this. I just don't think they stumbled over this. And I made jokes. I ain't gonna lie. I made jokes, and I put this up because I was like, yo, this guy ain't letting this go down. You get what I'm saying? And so that was my that was my little jokey joke at the time. You know what I mean? But then I thought deeper, and I was like, nah, this is a little different, man, because they started that flashing the pictures, and once they start flashing these pictures online, once they start doing that, then it's something, because we ain't getting one picture of even the carrier or the messenger or the dude they paid. Even on Scammer Payback, they show the messenger trying to get the money, and they see him too because he's part of it. He knows where the other person is at. If they don't want to give it up, but he knows where he at because he got to bring the money back. It's kind of simple. So when the feds know all this and know all these people, why those other people ain't up here? Why the dude friend that was bringing the money back and forth, why he not up here? Like, what a part he play? Where he at? You see, they got this guy up here when it comes to this is his friend. You know what I mean? When it comes to whatchamacallit, this is his friend. That ain't the guy. That's the friend. See, that friend. See, that's his friend. High school buddy. Why this ain't like this though now? That's what bugs me out. This is not like this now. You don't see none of this. I'm telling you, man. I know it ain't about the newspaper no more and this or that, but it still be in the paper though. It still be front page. I just don't get it. I don't get the crowd audience you're trying to, get to by doing this. I just don't. It's just weird to me, man. It's just weird to me, man. They're gonna keep his name in it because they gonna keep it in it. But as long as his name is in it, it's gonna be like something that people gonna listen to because they trying to hear something once again that they didn't hear. Bronny on steroids and this and that. I got questions about that, but that's on the black time when we talking and we debating. This here is different. Here they come again with this, man. Here they come again. We do enough that we get underachieved for y'all to keep blaming every goddamn thing on somebody, man. They not the orchestras of this, so I don't know why they out there like that. You could have just gave them they pat on the back and the thing, like in drugs. You got the kids out there selling the drugs. They start locking them, getting them to sell on the bigger ones, but they don't lock them up back like they running it, and that's that. It's crazy, man. Yo, Oster 40, man. Peace it out, man. And you know, we here to learn, man. We here to learn, good brother. That's what we here to do, man. You know what I mean? And hopefully this stuff get behind them, man. And the real deal come out about whatever it is that's going down. The real come out. You know what I mean? We see what's up and put the stories together. Because I'm not listening to what the feds is talking about. Because the feds right now, like the PD, they the regular police right now. They ain't everything. They everywhere. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing federal things now. Like everything is feds. Everything is feds. Feds lowered their standards in the 90s. And ever since then, they just been fucking with all the hoods. And anybody got something going on, here go the feds. Come in here, changing people's words. They getting Ricos from records. And even though these kids is telling on themselves and all that stuff, but this is the type of evidence they got today. So they kind of suspect, man. So anytime they come up here with a bunch of black people up here, doing this and doing that and doing this, and a bunch of minorities, you get what I'm saying? Until they come up here with a group of these white people, like inside these political offices in these places who's doing all these political crimes, which like they think is not federal, and all this lying and money stealing and pig ear money. When they start this here running into these little capitals and run in there and bring some people in there and take them down on TV like you do here. The NBA first game, like this is what the feds do, man. Like you in a house, they want to come in your house or come to your job. They could have came to your house. They didn't have to do all that, but they do this type of thing, man. They want to come to the NBA, blow it up. They would love to come down here on one of these basketball games. I'm telling you, and run in there and lock somebody up at the end of the game. Let's come on, run on the court and lock up like 4 people. They would love to do that. You see, Ice was in there in the boxing matches, and they love this. This is what they do. This is just what they do. They love to embarrass you like they got something going on, and this and that, and this and that, and scare you up. And 98% of people can't win the feds because you always got these solid lies. And some of it be, what it be, but y'all got agendas, man. I got agendas, man. And you do your job, but y'all got agendas, though, man. And leave my people alone, man. Seriously, I'm sick of y'all. For real. Yo, like, comment, and subscribe, man. Peace. I'm out. Post 40.